Welcome to Guitar for Dummies Lesson 2, entitled Tuning. Tuning. So if you recall, in our last video, you've just got your new guitar and didn't even know enough in the last video to hardly play it, and tips about buying and getting home. So finally got it home, and if you're lucky, it was in tune, wasn't it? And you was able to maybe tinker around for a day or two, and whoo, your little sister did something, didn't she? She twisted the knob, or it just kind of fell over and bumped the key, or just out of natural things happening, string kind of stretched a little and it's a little bit sour, out of tune. So we need to tune. That's what our second lesson is. Seems logical, and again, it's one of the first things you need to learn when you got your guitar now. So tuning, we'll cut right to the chase. You need to get a tuner, and they're very cheap now. Very cheap. One I've been using lately is a Snark, called Snark, S-N-A-R-K, and $10. I think I've seen them as low as $5 and $6. I've seen them as high as $17 or so, but if you look around for around $10, you can get this tuner. I won't even ramble like I did. I tried to record this before. It just saves you so much time. It makes your playing better, saves you a lot of work and struggle. Buy your tuner. Get you the $10 Snark. It helps you tune, or a similar thing. Now, it's very portable. I've had some before that were larger and clunkier. So this is easy to take along, and it's kind of vibration based, where you're able to tune around other instruments. There's times I've had tuners where it's kind of like you have to have everybody else be quiet while you try to tune, and this makes it very nice to tune. And so you got the tuner. You need to know the notes you need to tune to, don't you? And if you don't know much about notes yet, this is where my other Music for Dummies, you need to watch that. If you don't know this yet, it'll help you build up. These two series working together would be very beneficial. But the notes you need to tune to are, we cheat and learn them as Eddie 8 Dynamite. Goodbye Eddie is one of the phrases. And what that stands for is, on your guitar, you'll have the lower, fatter string. It makes a deeper sound, and a very high string on the other end. Well, this low string, this is a typical way of drawing it. So might be the first time some of you are seeing this. This low E string's the one up here top towards my chest. And then the high E string's the one down towards the floor here, the very high one. So the notes are Eddie 8 Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. So our challenge now is just to use this easy tool to make those strings be those notes. Let's move on. So let's show you here, as quickly as we can, the simplicity with the Snark tuner. And you clip it on there. See, it just has a clipping mechanism. Goes right on the headstock there. And an on switch. If I hit that good, I missed it. And it might be hard to see, but there is now a little light. It's a white bar, and it will be easy once we start plucking strings. You'll see the note, and it's neat. Let's get that while we're at it. That if you're a little low on a note, now see, I've went so low, I went down to another note there already. Let me turn that up a little bit again. So I'm in a D sharp. I start tightening the string. I've already jumped up to the E, but it's all red there, if you see, and not quite perfect. And it'll hit right on the top here. That's how precise it is. And if I go too far, it starts to turn, I've jumped clean to an F already. See, it would have turned green there. We're just a little bit sharp on the E. So that's all you've got to do, is know your Eddie 8 Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie, and use this little tool to help you hit your E, your A, and so forth on each string. Of course, you can use common sense and look at your strings and see which peg they run to. And somewhere in your life, you're going to break a string, just accidentally be on the wrong one, especially if you're on a 12 string or something. But it's easy to do if you kind of get distorted and think you're on another peg. But using your tuner. Now, a few tips I wanted to throw out there was, like, especially when you're starting, your guitar could be already too high. Like if I tighten that, this is already high. I'm in an F sharp there, and you might start cranking and cranking, and you're going to, well, the truth is you're going to go up there, you're going to break a string, especially on the lower one. So a tip is, if you're just not sure, you might go what you know is low. Could even get to the point where the string's floppy, and then come up to your note, a beginner tip. There I'm back on my E, and I'm on the second. Can't see down here where I'm plucking, but I'm plucking with my thumb and using the second peg, and it's already pretty good. It's on the Eddie 8A, and then what the next one is Dynamite, D, third string down there. Notice our drawing up here as well with the low string, Eddie, Dynamite, G, and remember the low string, tune it down, tighten up. So I'd like to spend more time on that, but don't want to bore you. So let's move on to something else, just a little more knowledge. This is the way you'll want to tune your guitar, but as you grow, there'll be times you do it manually, and probably pretty quickly you'll start doing it manually. So let's look at using the frets to tune. So if you did not have the tuner here, didn't have that, you would have to somehow, some way get like your top string to the right note or something. Then you might listen to a piano, or another guy might pluck his, and you'd say, and once you'd have to hear, and you get it right. Well, here is how you then manually, once you have that top E string in, here's how you manually do it. The 5th fret is your friend. So if you notice, and you'll need to learn that an E goes right to an F, and then a whole step is a G, and a whole step's an A. If that's like Greek, you'll want to look at that music class. I think it's the very first one. You'll be like, oh, now I know why that's that way. Highly recommend it. But it goes to F, then you skip to a G, and you skip to an A. Well, notice, so if I'm holding that 5th fret on that low string, it's an A. And the next string down is supposed to be an A, the 5th string. So they should make the same note, shouldn't they? If I'm up there holding that 5th string, and the next string down plucking the 5th string, they should sound exactly alike. And your ear will grow, and you might say sharp or flat. So that's how you manually tune without a tuner. You get like your E string right, and then you start using your 5th fret and going down to the next string. Now notice, let me get a laser pointer here real quick to show you this, but that works on the next one too. When I'm down on the next string, once I have my A string right, get back here, there's your B, and then right to your C, and you jump to your D. That is a D. So if I'm holding that on that fret, it's a D, and the next string down's a D. So they should be the same. So you get used to kind of hearing, and you have to let go and take some practice, and works on the next string. Notice that once you have that D string right, the next string down is the G. So on the D, it turns out you go E to F to G. You're holding that 5th fret, string below it, 3rd string down, finger on the 4th, plucking the one below it, the 3rd, and they're both G's. And here's the only oddball. The only oddball is the B string, and that's your 2nd string up. And you have to slide back to the 4th fret. It turns out it's A when you hold your finger, and on the 4th fret, a B. So when I hold there, I'm holding the 4th fret on the G string, and then hitting the B string, the 2nd string. And there's your B's. And finally, it works again back on the B string to the last string. If you hold the 5th fret, turns out that's an E, and you want that, kind of hard to see my plucking finger, but I'm plucking the highest 2 strings there, holding that 5th fret on the B, and those should sound the same. Soured it, didn't I? And then I bring it up. Knew something was wrong there. So that's pretty close. And you saw I just did. So there you are, manually tuning. And I wanted to go a lot more in detail. There's a lot to learn here about your instrument, but I think we'll hold off and not make this video too long about tuning. Few final thoughts. If you get too high, you'll break a string, obviously. And so we gave you a tip there, didn't we? That we want you to go low and bring it up. That's a tip to not break strings. You know, another tip would be have some strings handy. You hate to spend money, but at least get you one set and buy some time when it pops. It's going to pop on you sometime, and have you some strings ready. And other things, there are alternate tunings. This is standard tuning we taught you with the E to the E. But there's alternates. Sometimes you'll hear people playing, you hold your fingers like them, you're like, what's going on? It doesn't sound the same. They might be in a different tuning, and as you grow, you'll probably start playing with some of those. And then another piece here is very important for you as a beginner to know that just being a teeny bit out of tune hurts more than you know. You can be playing a chord and just, I'm hearing in my ear what I feel is a little bit sour there. You tune that up with that tuner, perfect, and it will really make your guitar play sound better right off the bat, because the newbie just doesn't realize he's a little out of tune, and that tuner will get you right on. So big tip there. Hope this was beneficial. Hope you can tune your guitar. I cut this down in length a lot and try to be a little quicker at presenting it, but I hope there's enough material there to get you going. So finally, I hope you stick with me. We're going to keep on moving and just try to logically give you concepts that will help you grow in your guitar journey.